What it do, neck bones? It's me, Keisha, aka Color Me Pynk, and I'm here with this week's All Tea All Shade Belle Collective Season 3, Episode 4 review. All right, you guys, let's get right into it. So we start off the episode with So Gucci and JJ talking about his mama coming to stay with them. Of course, she does not want this to happen because his mama is overbearing, but she's arriving that day. So JJ was like, she'll cook for us and clean and this, that, and the third. And she was like, okay, well, we got a maid for that, love. Like, we don't need your mama here for that. So Gucci was like, she calls me Shantae. That's not even her name. Her name is Sophia or Sophie or something. I think it's Sophia. So the mama arrives, honking her horn and yelling in her convertible drop top. And I'm like, what is happening? Now, I don't know why I was envisioning in my head something totally different from what we got when it came to his mama. I'm picturing this, pleasantly plump woman that was just country. I don't know why. But JJ mom walks in and she's actually really pretty. She petite, she's stylish. She was a cute little old thing. And I was like, okay, mama. I was like, I don't understand why she coming over there staying with them. She looked like she's very able still, out here doing her thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they brought her in for a storyline or if this is real or what, but I'm here for it because she just as loud as her son, child. Now see where she gets it from, where he get it from. So JJ tells her to leave the plastic on their carpet. I didn't know, Jesus. I did not know. Every time they filmed in their room, I guess like the cameraman are told like to not walk on it or something, maybe because you'll hear the crunching sounds. But I ain't never seen nobody have plastic on their carpet. On the carpet. Now we all know we grew up, especially if you was a 70s, 80s baby, with your grandmama having plastic on her sofa to keep it nice, but not on the carpet. And then he gonna have the nerve to quote gangsters, you know what I'm talking about, the Denzel Washington, this $30,000 alpaca. You don't wipe that, you block that shit. That's my favorite part of that movie. But anywho, child, I was like, they so country. So the mama tells them not to disturb her in the morning when she drinking her coffee because this is their house now. Not JJ's and Gucci, but all three of them. Child, I would have been like, okay, time for you to go, mama. This ain't gonna work. Nah, because how you gonna come over my house telling me not to disturb you? Girl, if you don't get somewhere and sit down. So Latrice ends up meeting up with Cliff at a restaurant to have dinner and to discuss their marital issues. And she apologizes to him for not telling him that she was going to M-Bar that night. The fact that this grown woman is apologizing to this man about that, girl. So Cliff was like, that wasn't because of you going to M-Bar. It was because you was going out with Josh. If I just kicked him out, then the next day you going to have drinks with the enemy. So more and more, this story is unfolding as the weeks progress. So we find out now that he'd already kicked Josh out the house. It wasn't that Josh decided to leave on his own. Maybe him and Latrice decided to lie and say that he left on his own to save face or something. I don't know, child. But obviously, Cliff was feeling some type of way that she met up with him after the fact. So she's supposed to not be friends with him no more because y'all got into it. The whole thing is just ridiculous. So I'm just sitting there looking like, Latrice, I don't understand how you could take this man seriously with this haircut. Because what is that haircut? All of this is like a bald fade, and then he just got curly hair at the top. He just looked like Bert from Bert and Ernie. Like he just, oh God, no. So Latrice just sitting there blinking like she always doing. Like it gotta be a nervous twitch for her because this is all she do is blink, do that weird smile thing, and like she gonna combust one day. She need to get that under control because it's so distracting. It really honestly is. So Latrice is like, are you okay that he's not there? Or is it still an issue with us? And so Cliff was like, yeah, I wasn't a supportive. Yeah, because you wasn't a supportive wife like you should. You wouldn't even talk about it. Latrice says, because we have a communication issue. Cliff in his confessional says, my biggest problem with Latrice is that she ignores problems. She goes to sleep and wakes up like, poof, Cinderella gonna pop up at the house. Now that I can agree with. She does like to act like the world isn't happening and that conflict isn't happening. Like, I don't know why she like chooses to deflect from things, but yeah, she does have to work on that. So I agree with Cliff on that. So Cliff was like, I don't want to talk about it no more. Like, he done with the conversation. He just said what he said and he is done. So Latrice was like, I don't communicate the way that you communicate. Cliff in his confession says she want to boss me around and control everything, but I'm the man of the household. She got to listen to me. And this is where I say, Ike, if you don't have several seats, honey, she is not an Ikeette. She is not Tina. This is 2023, sir. You and that old adage of yours need to find some old lady that'll deal with that type of foolishness. Because, okay, you supposed to be the head of the household, but that don't mean she gotta listen to you. Who are you? You ain't Jesus. Like, boy, if you don't get somewhere and sit down, boy, bye. So Cliff was like, you know, write your boundaries up and I'll approve the ones we're gonna do. Excuse me? When did you become Jeff Bezos? Because I don't see no billions behind your name. Now, if I was married to Jeff and he told me to write down my boundaries and he'll figure out whether or not he gonna approve them, I'd be like, okay. But not this country mofo. Child, bye. So Latrice is like, we'll decide. I want equality. Cliff said, you want to control me. I'm the head of the household, but you want to be equal to me. And Latrice says, am I not equal? And he says, Latrice, no. And he said it like, are you dumb? Like, why are we having this conversation? He said, where you are today is because of me. I put you there. And Latrice is like, you acting like you made me. And Cliff say, I helped you make yourself. And this makes me wonder, did he invest in her business? You know, first season, she said that she was already popping when she met him. But the way he going, it makes me seem like he did invest in her business at some point. I don't know. But the fact that he had the nerve to say that, child, says a lot. So at this point, Latrice is fed up with the conversation and she leaves and says that she'll see him at home. Girl, just the ghetto. Because it's like, if you don't want more for yourself, we can't want more for you. Okay. So Gucci meets up with Akeisha and Marie for lunch. And she tells them how her mama-in-law has moved in and that she didn't like her at first. How his mama didn't like her at first. But that they started to have a good relationship. But things could quickly go sour now that she's in the house with them. So Marie tells Akeisha about Glenn popping up on them and that whole fiasco. And Akeisha was like, well, I'll put her on my prayer list, talking about Letitia. And in her confessional, she says she really does feel bad for her because, like, should nobody have to deal with that, despite her and Letitia having a, you know, back and forth or whatever. So Akeisha asks Marie, is she going to Latrice's event? And Marie was like, she sent me an invitation. Like, I'm surprised she sent her an invitation because y'all don't like each other. Y'all don't get along. So why are you sending her invitations at this point? So Akeisha was like, you're not going? And Marie was like, hell to the no. She's like, Latrice is a child in a woman's body. And Gucci gonna say, daddy gotta finish raising him. Baby, woo, it still tickled me today. So Akeisha was like, I know you really not feeling her right now because you have never. She says that to Gucci. So Gucci was like, I heard she's saying different things about what I'm producing. I'm like, baby, you need to worry about that one hair machine that I saw recoined out the other day. And I was like, what does recoin mean? Does that mean it was repossessed? Like, what does that mean? But baby, they was going in on Latrice. So Glenn ends up meeting with Cliff at a bar, child, with, I don't know if that was Versace, because I don't think it was Versace. That was Versace shirt on. And apparently they've become close. And I was like, if two people in this world that did not need to be friends, is these two. Because that's just psychotic and psycho put together. So Glenn tells him how Letitia says that he put her in a position to win. No, he talks to Cliff about how he put Letitia in the position for her to win. I'm like, okay, so you both of y'all thinking y'all really then made these women. So he was like, I put a recorder in her truck and a tracker. So that's how he heard her conversations when she was in the car on the phone talking. And he said it just all nonchalantly, and Cliff just sitting there like, oh, really, you did? Let me know where you got yours from. It was just like a normal conversation about putting a tracker and a recorder in somebody's car. Like, that's psychotic, Glenn and Cliff. Like, that's weirdo behavior, bro. What? Girl, I followed a straight note on him so fast. So he was like, I heard that Marie is looking for a counter for Letitia, so I can't find her. And it had me livid. Livid, Jesus. He said it had him livid. Is that in the Urban Dictionary? Because I've never heard of livid, Jesus. Help him. While you sitting up here putting recorders and trackers, get you some Rosetta Stone. Like, what is going on? What's going on? Get hooked on phonics, sir. Please. Too much for me to handle. So Cliff was like, basically, she's saying she's single. Dress up like a woman and see if she like it. And if she does, then you'll know what the problem is. But Glenn didn't hear that part. That part went totally over his head. He was like, I ain't dressing up like no woman. Like, what is you talking about? Oh, God. That whole back and forth was just ridiculous. So Glenn talking about my balls is blue and I'm sexually frustrated. I was in the studio today and I did a song for her. And I was like, why? If this can't get any worse, why are you in the studio? Make it stop. This is just going way too far left for me. So Latrice's mom comes by her house to visit and they end up cooking Cliff dinner because she had to have dinner ready by the time he got home. And Latrice in her confession was like, I don't take a lot of advice because a lot of times people are jealous. So I go to my mama. Latrice, baby, let me talk to you. Ain't nobody jealous of you and Cliff. Don't nobody want him but you. Okay. All right. So the mama was like, you don't let nobody dictate and tell you what to do. You're not happy in your marriage. He's tearing you down. He don't want you to prosper. It's all right to love your husband, but don't be no fool. And I was like, if you don't listen to everybody, but you listen to your mama, then I hope you listening to her right now because your mama's telling you right, okay? So Latrice was like, I guess I be thinking like, what if he gonna leave me? And the mom was like, so you depended on him because you didn't have no daddy? You afraid he gonna leave and you ain't gonna have nobody? Is that what we discussed? Girl, you got Jesus on the main line. That's the only man you need, all right? Now, that's what I would have told her. Because I'm looking at Latrice like, you supposed to be so confident in this self-made millionaire and all of this stuff. Why are you so afraid to leave him? I feel like they money or something tied up with each other. I don't think that this is going to be so cut and dry for her to leave and still have her so-called millions. It's more to this marriage than we know. It's a reason why she's afraid to leave him. It really honestly is. They money tied up together. And I think she knows if she leaves him, she ain't gonna leave with what she has gotten while with him. So Akeisha meets with her biological father's sister who adopted her and is her mama. And they go over everything that they need to go over for the businesses and the taxes and everything. And Her mom is named Dr. Sandra, and Dr. Sandra's about to head to Italy because she is high class and she got money. So she has a doctorate in anesthesia and a doctorate in psychology. I was like, come on, Dr. Sandra. And they just discussed how Akeisha ended up coming into their family and how they accepted her because her father was married when he got her mom pregnant. He was stepping outside of the marriage. And it was a few years into her being on this earth that they found out about her. It was a very touching, moving story. It really honestly was. So Glenn is in the studio with a jacket that he looked like he had on back in the 80s. Like he was in the movie Beach Street. I don't know why he had on this blue jean jacket with spray paint and stuff on it. Like, I don't know if he was trying to summon his inner LL Cool J, but no. So this was his lyrics, you guys. This is for a song that he's working on for Letitia. He said, enemies, me and you will never be, but we hard, wait a minute, I can't even say it right. Enemies, me and you will never be, but we ever hardly ever see intimacy. That's what he said, y'all. Let me run it back in case you didn't catch it. Enemies, me and you will never be, but we ever hardly ever see intimacy. Why did he put all those evers in there? Why, Jesus? This man don't even know how to talk, but got the nerve to be out here cheating on people, girl. So we found out that he been rapping. He been that dude. He used to go by the name Ghetto Prophet. Lies. So JJ ended up visiting him at the studio. Wrong person you need hyping you up because he's going to make you even more delusional than ever. So Glenn in there singing a hook, Thompson. Tell me, where did we go wrong, baby? Tell me, where did we go wrong? And JJ told him, that's going to be a hit, yeah. And I'm like, I just want to run both of y'all over with a car. So Glenn in his confessional talking about the idea of Josh living in a broken home, I could never accept that. Because he grew up in a broken home and really didn't have a close relationship with his father until he got older in life. So Glenn ends up getting a call saying that his granny been rushed to the hospital. Now, I don't know if it was just me, but when he took the phone away from his ear, you didn't see the name of the caller on the phone. Like, it literally just went back to a regular screen. I don't know how phone calls work in Alabama, but it was weird to me. Mississippi, wherever they from. So that gave me a little scripted. I don't know. So instead of going to where his grandmother is, he goes to see Letitia, which makes me even further believe that the grandmama was already at home and had issues, but she was already back at the house, and that they used that as a storyline. Because why would you go to Letitia first instead of going to your grandmother? Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. So he goes to Letitia's office to tell her, and Letitia ends up calling his sister Tanisha to see what's going on. And the sister says that the grandmother had a fever, but it broke. And they gave her pain medication and sent her back home, but she's gonna have to go to hospice. So of course, Glenn is breaking down over that because hospice means that's where people go to pass on. So she's comforting him, and he asked her to ride with him over to his grandmother's house, and she was like, "Of course." And that's when they leave together, and the story will continue on next week. I just hope that Letitia don't allow this to suck her back into their foolishness. It's just too much. Overall, though, I'm gonna give Friday's episode of Belle Collective an A, because it's just so much foolishness in this show. It's just ridiculous, but it's so funny to me. Believe it is my new word. It's my new word. I'm going along with it. Believe it, honey. Believe it. And I'm downloading Ghetto Prophets Love Song to Letitia as soon as it drops. Yeah, I'm a #1 fan. Y'all let me know down below in the comment section what y'all thought about the episode. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.